to Tuesday here at Crain and Company. To my left, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn. To my right is my brother and also former Western State Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crain. We got a jam-packed show for you today. There's a ton to get to. We're going to discuss where this Ohio State team that just won the Natty ranks all time in college football. We're going to preview some tasty NFL Conference Championship matchups this weekend, which we're going to live stream. And we're going to show you the best and worst plays of the weekend. And there's a lot of them. Blaine, tell the good people how the polls in the chat work.
Absolutely. Chat, only 3 football games left. How are we going to survive? But if you're in here, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. If you donate at all, it's going to get read at the end of the show. Multiple segments during the show. And with the polls, surprise, surprise, you get to decide the winner of most segments. David, you tree of a man. And what's going on that Hot Take Hotline?
We will be taking your live calls on the Hot Take Hotline. That's right. You can call in, talk to us. Those lines open at 3:50 Eastern, 2:50 Central. The number 1-855-236-3228. 60 seconds. Give us your hottest take.
Great job.
I want it to be spicy. I want a very spicy Tuesday. Welcome to Crain and Company. Strap in and strap up. Let's go. Ryan Day had to feel incredible after waking up this morning. All the hate this man has caught, and some was deserving, but it was totally washed away by winning the national championship game last night, vindicating him in the eyes of some. But the real ones don't forget. Because to me, if the opportunity arises for Ryan Day to go to the NFL or even make a lateral move at the highest levels of college football, and I'm him, I'm out of here. I don't know if any head coach with his amount of wins and consistent success has caught more flack from external and internal fans. The craziest part to me is that even though they won it all last night, if Day loses to Michigan next year for a 5th time in a row, he's going to find himself right back in the same position he was this year, having to thread the needle and win the whole thing again. And it's just not sustainable. I understand that you have to win your fair share of rivalry games. Hell, I grew up in the Iron Bowl rivalry. But there has never been a better time for Ryan Day to say goodnight to Ohio State and move on. Because even today, it still feels like the fit is off, and they don't truly love him for him. David Cohn, I want to ask you where you think this Ohio State team ranks kind of, compared to other national champions of all time, because there's some stuff out there. But, me and my wife like to go watch movies every now and then at the movie theater, and typically I get to pick the movie. But a while ago, she got to pick the movie. We went to see a movie, It Ends With Us, with Blake Lively in it. Wasn't a huge fan. But to me, driving into work today, I almost felt like Ryan Day was kind of like Blake Lively in that movie. Because there's great moments between Ryan Day and Ohio State, just like Blake Lively and the dude she was with on that movie. But the first time something goes wrong, they just push you down the stairs or slap you across the face. If you're Ryan Day, would you think about moving on?
Man, if Ryan Day leaves Ohio the day after winning the national championship, the year after Jim Harbaugh leaves Michigan after winning the national championship, that is a level of chaos that I cannot even entertain. But my biggest takeaway is, look, congratulations to him and this entire Buckeyes team, all these seniors who came back for this moment. I don't think they run through the playoffs like they did if they don't lose to Michigan. I think the way this team responded, there's a point right there where you can see it, the way they played before and the way they played after. I mean, the Oregon team that they blew out after losing to Michigan, they lost to that team by 1 point in the regular season. A Penn State team, a really solid Penn State team that made the Final Four, Buckeyes beat them by 7. I think they faced even some better competition in the playoffs that they're blowing out. I think there was an inflection point in that locker room, and for this team to respond the way they did and move through the college football playoff like that, it was very impressive. And then my other thought is just on the inaugural season of the 12-team playoff, we have a champion now that not only didn't win their conference, they didn't even compete in their conference championship, and they lost 2 football games, which that's why I think even the idea that some people are posting that this is the most dominant college football team of all time, that's laughable, but you guys guys can bring it up and talk about that if you want. But just the idea that the most dominant team in the postseason this year, the right team won, and they lost 2 games in the regular season. They didn't make the conference championship. We're going to see more of that with an expanded playoff, for better or worse. You can say that waters down regular season rivalries, or you can say actually it gives really, really great teams like this one we just saw a chance to still win a national championship. Whatever side you fall on, we're going to see more of it with an expanded playoff like this.
Well, and I think you're exactly right about the Michigan game. There is no fuel like embarrassment, especially to an 18 to 22-year-old. And then you have the flag planting controversy, which wasn't a very good look for Ohio State. It's kind of like when you get broken up with and you start working out more and you look better. You want to flex from here on out. I'm glad you brought up that point, because some people about the dominance of this Ohio State team. I've seen some people on social media talk about, hey, this could be the most dominant team ever. I disagree with that 100%. But Blaine, you put something out on social that Ohio State's season, and this is very impressive, regardless of the 2 losses, and really they wouldn't have made a 14 playoff. They sure as hell wouldn't have made the BCS National Championship. So here's who Ohio State beat. Number 1, Oregon by 20 points. Number 3, Texas by 14 points. Number 3, Penn State by 7 points. Number 5, Notre Dame by 11 points. Number 5, Indiana by 23 points. And number 7, Tennessee by 25 points. Blaine, where does this Ohio State team rank in your eyes overall in the most dominant teams that we've seen? I mean, 2019 LSU. Yeah. We can go through the Alabama teams that they've had. Hell, even going back to 95 Nebraska, which, you were like 2 years old. So I know you don't.
Yeah, well, the question is look, I don't think you can sit here and say that Ohio State's the most dominant team ever because they have 2 losses. But would you put them in that top 5? And where are they in that top 5? So I think you can come out here and say LSU was probably the most dominant team ever. Then you have some Alabama teams. And then you have that Miami team. I didn't get to watch much of that Miami team or that Nebraska team. Apparently Nebraska averaged like 300 yards on the ground and beat everybody by 40 points. But even with the 2 losses, no team has beat 5 top 5 AP teams ever in a season. Mm-hmm. And that Ohio State team did that this year. And from an NFL talent standpoint, they have just as many guys who are probably going to get drafted as other teams we saw in the top 5. So even with the 2 losses, Dave, and I agree with you, I said this during the season, when Ohio State lost to Michigan, not only did the Ryan Day hate came, but the fans... The hate came for the fans. We saw Kirk Herbstreit say it, and we built a monster, and that monster showed in the playoffs. But I do think there is an argument you can have as this Ohio State team being one of the top 5 most dominant teams ever to play in college football.
Well, I think there's some nuance to it that we can separate it and have a good conversation. We want to know, obviously what you think in the chat as well and when the phone lines open up. But I think we can say there's a difference between who had the greatest season ever, right? And we've had teams go undefeated and do that. And who, when they're playing at their best, would be the team that scared you the most or was the most dominant. If this Ohio State team playing at their peak, at their highest efficiency level, when you look at them on offense, defense, and special teams, I could sit there and listen to somebody explain that and say, I don't think that's the craziest take, but trying to frame it as the greatest season ever, that's impossible. Because
I'm passing on both.
Yeah, so where do you
forget team? I mean, forget season, not even the greatest team. I'll go a step further. Forget all these other teams. We're talking about LSU in 2019, 2001 Miami. I don't think they're better than the last Buckeyes team to win a national championship. This team, what couldn't they stop when they played against Michigan? They couldn't stop the run. Michigan ran it down their throat. Ezekiel Elliott went for 248 yards in that national championship against Oregon. He went for over 200 yards, I believe, in the semifinal against Alabama. They would have gotten a heavy dose of that yesterday. I don't even know if they're better than that team 10 years ago, but I do think it's an amazing sport where at Thanksgiving, Ryan Day should just universally be fired.
Oh, dude, everybody wanted
in the middle of January, hey, white glove, baby, the savior. It is a fascinating sport. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing to you guys. You guys know Joey Velasquez? I just found this out this morning. Back-to-back national champs. Played for Michigan last year, linebacker. Played for the Buckeyes this year.
That's amazing.
How does that switch sides like that?
That leaves a bad taste. That's got some Benedict Arnold, except Benedict didn't win.
What do you think? You think they would have beaten the Urban Meyer-led team that won the championship?
I don't think they would have beaten the Urban Meyer-led team. I don't think they would have beaten the Urban Meyer Florida team that won it. I think this was in a year that I don't think we had an unbelievably elite team like we've seen in the past. Right? We bring up the Alabama teams, we bring up the Georgia team, we bring up the LSU in 2019. I think this year, Ohio State was the best team when they were playing the best, but in no way, shape, form, or fashion was this year a collection of some of the greatest teams we've ever seen. I think they were the best team in a year where we had a lot of really good teams but not a lot of elite or really any elite teams possibly outside of Ohio State.
What year was the last time Ohio State won the national championship?
14 season. It was 15, though, 2015 in the January championship.
Because they won the inaugural 4 and the inaugural 12, right? Very impressive. All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, chat, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. We're going to start with a $5 donation from Mr. Let Go. Appreciate it, man. Good to see you in here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new in here. It says, guys, I agree with Coney on this. I don't even think this is the best Ohio State team to win a national championship. But if you stack the rosters, which roster do you like more?
Like the ones that win the most games, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like Ohio State's offensive line was better. The team you were referencing overall. I just, again, and it's what a great problem to have if you're an Ohio State fan. We're debating over which one of your national championship teams were better. You look at the quarterback position, too. I think Will Howard's a good player. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. Obviously, I don't think Riley Leonard's an NFL quarterback. Not that they won't get a cup of coffee or be a backup. I think Will's more likely to be a backup.
Well, Ohio State didn't have an NFL quarterback that year either, correct?
Cardale Jones went to the NFL.
Cardale Jones went to the NFL.
They were on their third.
Will Howard's going.
Here's how great that quarterback room was. Braxton Miller was the starter preseason, got hurt. J.T. Barrett comes in, balls out. He gets hurt. Cardale Jones is the third-string quarterback. They beat Wisconsin 59-0 in the Big Ten championship game, then beat Alabama, then beat Oregon. Joe Burrow's your fourth-team quarterback. I believe Joe Burrow was there that year, had to transfer out.
I would, and I'm not trying to throw strays at Will Howard. Congrats to him, a hell of a season. I would take Cardale Jones over Will Howard. I would still today take Cardale Jones.
But again, I don't want it to be a 2024 bashing.
No, that's not what I want.
I'm just talking about from a roster
I'm just saying other people are the one who brought this up.
Right, I mean, I already got the roster pulled up. You had J.T. Barrett, Cardale Jones at quarterback. You had Ezekiel Elliott at running back. You had Curtis Samuel. Your backup was Rod Smith. Your receivers are Devin Smith, Michael Thomas, Jalen Marshall, and you have Curtis Samuel as the receiver. Defensively, I mean, not a lot of. You have Joey Bosa, Eli Apple. I mean, not a lot of NFL players I can see, at least big names on that defense from that year.
Joe Burrow got there in 2015, so I'm not sure. He may have been a freshman the next year.
We'll see.
All right, let's go to IMND. What's up? It says, guys, congratulations to Ohio State. Give them their flowers for sure. But as a Notre Dame fan, where do we bounce back from after this loss?
Well, look, I don't think the momentum has stopped or that Marcus Freeman, it was like a mistake that they were there. We've talked about Marcus Freeman, the way he recruits, the way he's made Notre Dame cool again in a different way. They're getting a different type of athlete than they've had in the past. I think he's got staying power. Now, do I think they're going to go on some incredible run and go to natties every other year? No. But do not be shocked at all, especially in a 12-team playoff, if Marcus Freeman gets Notre Dame back.
All right, let's go to a $3 donation from I Am the Package. Appreciate it. Marcus Freeman, 2 calls that really hurt us. I will never understand not going for a touchdown. And what's y'all's thoughts on that third down call? How do you not double Jeremiah Smith?
Hey, brother, we're going to break that down in a segment coming up. Stick with us. Going to get through this NFL talk, some punter go. Then we're going to get to it. So we've got a full breakdown coming. We appreciate you being here because there's a lot to unpack. And it wasn't just one thing or 2 things. There were multiple things I think that Notre Dame did last night that were questionable that we need to talk about. But, David, let's move on, talk a little NFL here. There's some big games we're going to live stream this weekend as well.
All right, let's start with the AFC Championship. We're going to take we got the Chiefs hosting the Bills, and the line right now is -2 Kansas City. The over-under for both of these games we're going to talk about is 47.5. But I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts first off here. Patrick Mahomes, like I said yesterday, 7-0 in the divisional round. They made the AFC Championship after being the number 1 seed. Josh Allen and the Bills going to go on the road to play them in Kansas City. Do you guys like the line, and what are your thoughts on the game so far coming up?
Look, I picked the Chiefs to win it. I know that's not going out on a limb by any stretch of the imagination, and until somebody proves to me that they can overtake Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to ride with the Chiefs. But there's a couple things I do want the people to know about this game. One, this is the Super Bowl. That it's this game. Because the Eagles or Washington's not going to beat the Chiefs or the Bills that they play them. This is the Super Bowl. I think whoever wins this game, you might as well go ahead and crown them. No disrespect to the NFC, but I think that's the way the chips fall this year. I know we're going to talk about the Eagles. So this is a massive game. This is the game and the hump that the Bills have not been able to get over, that Josh Allen hasn't been able to get over. They've done well against the Chiefs in the regular season. You brought some numbers up yesterday before the game, but look in the postseason where it matters the most, because as we say, the regular season is for regular guys. The Chiefs have had all the success. What Mahomes and Andy Reid and this team have done has been incredible. And I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm fine with the line. I would take it. But I want to talk about the Bills' defense for a second because I don't think people talk enough about them. A lot of people assume, you look at this offense and Josh Allen in the MVP race. The Bills' defense, they have to make up for it. It's not great. It isn't great, but they're not bad either. They're 11th overall in points per game given up at 21.6. They're 17th in the league, which is about halfway in yards per game given up, and they're 5th in the league in interceptions, right? This defense is not a sore. This defense is not something that you look at like, this is going to be the reason that they lose. I'm more worried about Josh Allen doing what Lamar Jackson did last game and reverting back to the guy that turns the ball over. Because the Chiefs, this is not the Globetrotter Chiefs. This is not the Golden State Warrior Chiefs. They're going to go and throw the ball all over the place and do all these incredible things offensively. This is an even more dangerous Chiefs because they're balanced and they don't make mistakes. So the key for Buffalo, one, is can you go in there and not turn the ball over? Go in there and try and do everything you can if you're Josh Allen, but not turn the ball over. And then defensively, you have to find a way to stop Travis Kelce. I sat here and said, when we went in the playoffs, Travis Kelce is different in the postseason than he is during the regular season. I thought they did load management with him, honestly. And what happens? First game of the playoffs, he has a season high in yardage with 118 yards and scores a touchdown. And where did Patrick Mahomes go when he needed him the most? Including a play I'm going to bring up here shortly in one of the top plays. That is his security blanket. So if the Bills, you got to play clean. That's your only chance. But I think against this Chiefs team, David, if you get up on them, they're in a little more trouble than what they've been in the past because of what I brought up offensively. But I'm not betting against the Chiefs. This is a Super Bowl. If Kansas City wins this one, you might as well make it a three-peat.
That part I disagree with. I think the Eagles can 100% win the Super Bowl. And actually, the Eagles might be favored if Buffalo pulls this upset. But let's just take one game at a time. We'll get to that. What Buffalo was able to do against the Ravens, and we also said, hey, the Ravens have a better roster. They have more Pro Bowl players. Yeah, they're going to be on the road, but the Ravens, they're favored for a reason. What Buffalo was able to do, I love that you're talking about the defense, was very impressive to me. And I think that they can take advantage of the Chiefs in some areas that the Texans weren't able to. I mean, the Texans were allowing Travis Kelce, the one guy you have to guard at all times, to run wide open in zone coverage. It's one thing if he's better than you and beats you in man coverage because he's one of the greatest tight ends of all time. It's a different thing when you allow him to run a 15-yard OTB right over the ball, catch it, and take off for 70 yards. I don't think the Bills' defense is going to be doing that. And like you said, Josh Allen has not had those crucial turnovers when it matters most. I think the Bills can keep this game competitive, even though now they're going to have to go on the road. Blaine, what do you think? Or do you like the line? It's gone up. I mean, it started -1 Kansas City. Now it's up to -2.
Yeah, not only that, but the over-under has gone up too. I believe it started at 46.5, and last time I saw it, it's at 48.5.
Oh, wow.
Points for an NFL game is a lot of points. Look, at the end of the day, there's only one guy who can save us. There's only one guy who can save the world, and it's Josh Allen. Can you save the world from Thanos and Patrick Mahomes and the Dark Emperor Andy Reid? Sooner or later, somebody has to beat him, and we're going to talk about it later, but where's this game?
This one's in Kansas City.
This one is in Kansas City, so you got to go up there. Josh Allen is the only guy who can do it at this point, because I know Jane Daniels is a great piece. He is playing phenomenal, but up front, I don't think the Redskins are going to be good enough to really beat the Chiefs. If the Bills can do what they did in the first half against the Ravens and clog the run like they did with Derrick Henry and not get beat by Travis Kelce and rely on the other pieces, the Bills have a chance. But I'm just telling you, I feel like I've seen this movie year in and year out, especially watching the Mission Impossible series. Tom Cruise is going to find a way to save the day at the end of the movie. Fast and Furious, Vin Diesel is going to talk about family at the end of the movie. Patrick Mahomes and these Chiefs, not only do you have to beat them, but you have to beat the refs as well. And if you can do that, then congratulations, more power to you, but someone has to show me they can do it.
Well, you say someone has to beat him eventually. I disagree with that. Nobody beat MJ in the finals. Sometimes guys just show up. Sometimes that's their moment. And it always seems like the Chiefs are at home when this happens because of what they've done in the regular season. It's not like they didn't earn it. But, Cone, we watched last night Notre Dame on their first drive, on an 18-play drive, run Riley Leonard about 10 times. What did Josh Allen do against the Ravens? I mean, he scored 2 touchdowns decently early, too. They ran him a lot. I mean, it's the Bourbon Bowl. I know you got the Super Bowl after this, and we can go back and forth on if the Bills win. Obviously, I think it gives the NFC a better chance. I still think if the Bills get past here, they would win it. But how much are you running Josh Allen in this game?
Oh, I'm running him a lot, and that's a point I wanted to bring up again with the Texans game in the divisional round. To your point, though, about this being a sequel and it's a rerun that we've seen a million times, if you just mean the Chiefs being good and continuing to win, then yes. If you're specifically talking about the way they're winning, that's a part I disagree with. Because the great switcheroo that's been pulled these last 2 seasons is the Chiefs are a defensive team, especially in the regular season. Now, yes, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid calling plays. There's just really something special about that in the playoffs, especially. It's like Michael Jordan with the Bulls, like you brought up. But this team, the reason they won the Super Bowl last year is their defense. The reason they were able to be 15-2 this year with the offensive injuries and struggles they've had was because of the defense. But even in the divisional round, the Texans outrushed them 149-50. And like I said on yesterday's live stream, Texans, first team in NFL history in the postseason to outgain their opponent by 100 yards, have 0 turnovers, and somehow still lose the football game. I don't think the Chiefs can continue to get away with wins like that if they do that against the Bills, or especially if they do that against the Eagles, really even the Redskins.
I mean, go back to the Chiefs. I mean, how many one-possession games did the Chiefs win?
I don't know the exact number, but it felt like every week.
But they just always do that, Dave. The great teams do what? They find ways to win. Every stat line you can look at from that Texans game, the Texans should have won that game. But they didn't, because Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they just find ways to win. And in the playoffs,
that's a superpower all in itself.
The playoffs, they're a different beast in the playoffs.
I get that. And again, I'm taking the Chiefs. But if you're a Bills fan, to the point you brought up, yes, this Kansas City team is built differently. Just looking back at the scores of the playoffs, when you've lost to the Chiefs, here's how many points the Chiefs scored. The last 3 times you played them, before that you played them in 94. I'm not going to count that one. So 21, 22, and 24. In 21, you lost 38-24. I don't think the Chiefs are scoring 38 in this game. In 2022, you lost 42-36. I don't think the Chiefs are scoring 42 in this one. Last year, you lost 27-24. I don't think the Chiefs are scoring 27 in this one. So if there was ever a time, and the Bills' offense is about as good as it's ever been, right? I don't think there's been a tick back for the Bills offensively. So if you're Buffalo, it's the start. It's the start. Because if you can find a way to get up, right, even 10 points against this Chiefs team, they're not the Chiefs of the past. Where the Chiefs have gotten people is when it's a tight game in the fourth quarter. It's a 1-score game. It's a 6-point lead for the opponent. It's a 4-point lead for the opponent. Patrick Mahomes leads the game-winning drive. So I think the Chiefs this year are more gettable than ever in certain scenarios. But the level and the dominance of the defense, and if they shut down Josh Allen running, I think the Bills could be in trouble. So there is a different dichotomy here in this game as opposed to the past and what we've seen, where the Chiefs have really just outscored the Bills in a track meet.
Well, I just think the Chiefs, no matter what the game is, they're going to be able to play whatever game you want to play. If it's going to be a shootout, they can win in a shootout. If it's going to be a low-scoring game,
I don't think they
can win in a low-scoring game. Trust me, I think a team if the Rams can score 42 points against you, then I think the Chiefs can put up 30+.
We'll see. All right, let's move to the NFC Championship. This is the Eagles hosting the Redskins. Like we said, Eagles 14-3 on the regular season, 12-5 for the Redskins. Cool little divisional matchup. This line, though, is -6 right now. It stayed steady since it opened. And again, just like the AFC Championship game, 47.5 on the points.
Washington's going to win. I don't trust the Eagles. We can talk about them having the number one defense. And look, they've got studs running around that defense. Jalen Hurts is hurt. And the passing game for the Eagles, even after the A.J. Brown drama early at last game, I know it was in the snow. Saquon turned into a snowmobile. I just feel like this Commanders team, if they find a way to just slow down Saquon, and that's a lot easier said than done. I get that. When you look at some of the holes this offensive line is opening up for the Eagles, I mean, they're massive. Hell, I could run through them. Not as fast or as far as Saquon, but I could run through them. But Washington, again, I'll say what I said about them going against the Lions. There's no pressure on them. All the pressure is on Philadelphia here. Washington's been playing with house money since this thing started, since the regular season, even before the Hail Mary win they had that kind of gave them that extra momentum. And Jaden Daniels is not making mistakes. And what defines Jaden Daniels isn't his athletic ability running, not even his ability as a nuanced and layered passer in the quick game, in the intermediate game, in the deep game. It's his moxie and his decision-making. I don't think Washington has to force it. Now, if you're Cliff Kingsbury, the biggest mistake I think you can make against this Eagles defense is saying, well, we're just going to go out here and have to run trick plays and do all this and do all that. You don't have to. Let Jaden Daniels operate the offense. Let him throw the fastball. Let him throw the changeup. Let him throw the slider. Use your run game. Use that RPO game. Use that zone read game, especially when you get into the red zone. Terry McLaurin is playing his ass off. You look at what they have at tight end with Ertz and some of these other guys that are giving them extra. It just feels like if the Eagles go down in this game, they're going to start pressing even more. And we've seen problems arise on that sideline. So what happens if you look up when you have a very confident Washington team that's going on the road where they have no problem going on? And I know the Lions and Eagles defense are drastically different right now, and they get up 10-3, or they get up 17-10, and Jalen Hurts is overthrowing guys, and Saquon isn't going off for breaking 70-yard runs or 50-yard runs for touchdowns. I think Washington wins because the pressure's not on them and they're more together.
Well, like I said yesterday, the combination of youth and experience that Washington has is really cool. Not just Jaden Daniels, but guys like Mikey Sanders still on defense, combined with veterans like Austin Eckler, but bringing in Wagner. Even your head coach, Dan Quinn, has been to a Super Bowl with the Falcons. I'll tell you why I like Philadelphia, though, and why I think Philly can win the Super Bowl if they make it. They're great in all the areas that you need a football team to be great. Defensive front seven, elite. Offensive line, elite. Running back, 2,000-yard rusher this year. Jalen Hurts doesn't quite look like he did before he had the concussion at the end of the season, but I think that is going to he's going to be fine. He's going to bounce back from that. A.J. Brown, I don't know what he's doing reading books on the sidelines, but if that's what it takes.
David.
Hey, just go catch the ball when we throw it to you. Devontae's pretty good too. Great in all the areas you need to be great. And then when it comes to the Super Bowl, if they find themselves there, they've been there before, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Sean McVay Rams. Remember, they go and they lose to the Patriots. What was that one? 13-3. The moment a little bit too big for them when they were there. Second time around, they're able to win, and the Eagles will have the added benefit of you didn't switch quarterbacks. You didn't have to go get Matt Stafford. Same group of guys, basically, and even losing guys like Jason Kelce at center and Brandon Graham, our boy Brandon Graham going down, which I hate it for him, man. It's one of my best friends. They're still elite in those areas, and they've been able to weather those injuries in a way that Detroit wasn't last week, right? That's why I like Philly.
Oh, God, this is a tough one. Look, a big Jaden Daniels guy, big fan. I mean, when he came out of the draft, we said he's going to be the best quarterback in the draft. Everybody sat on the set. The difference is in this game is just the Eagles are too good up front. They're too good up front on both the sides of the ball. It's a lot easier for Jalen Hurts to turn around, hand the ball to Saquon Barkley, and go get 5 yards than Jaden Daniels going to have to create. And look, he can probably do it. He's been doing it already in the NFL. I think Terry McLaurin doesn't get enough really spotlight on how good of an NFL receiver he is. But I just feel like the same thing you said, David. The Eagles are built in a way that they can win a national championship, and that is running the ball and playing.
And a Super Bowl.
And a Super Bowl, excuse me. But running the ball and stopping the run and not have to make it too complicated. That's why they'll beat the Commanders. Great story, Hansel and Gretel. I mean, although it's a B&E, we can talk about that later. But I just don't think Jaden Daniels can do enough for 4 quarters against this Eagles team to win.
And I get, again, it lines up everything you guys are saying about this Eagles defense, but what the Rams did late in that fourth quarter would worry me to death if I'm an Eagles fan. Because it was on your defense. The game should have been iced. Saquon just took off for 70.
Yeah.
Cranked up the snowmobile and went for 70 and a touchdown. Game should have been over. But what did your number one defense go out there and do? Matt Stafford and them went down the field like it was nothing. Bink, 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 touchdown. Then the offense gets the ball back. They punt. What do the Rams do? And the Rams didn't field the punt. If Boy fields the punt, I think this may be a different story. This may be a different matchup. But again, I'm a special teams guy. Y'all may think I'm reading too much into that. But they got the ball. They went right down. And when they had to have it, when the Eagles had to have it, how did that defense stop them? You had a whiff block by the center. And I want to give Jalen Carter credit for that. But guess what? Jaden Daniels, I think, makes that guy miss. Matt Stafford doesn't make that guy miss. That's the difference. What happened at the end of that Rams game, it gave me pause. Puka Nacua making big plays. Terry McLaurin make that play. I'm just telling you right now, Washington, nothing to lose. Don't let this.
But the Rams got 2 of them.
Don't let it be a one-score game in the fourth quarter.
The Rams got 2 of them.
Don't let it be a one-score game in the fourth quarter. And Jaden Daniels going to break their heart now.
Well, it likely will. I like that. I
hope it is.
For sure.
That's the way the Eagles are built. 285 yards rushing against LA. Like, they want to run the ball and have close games at the end and suffocate you near the end. This isn't a blow-you-out type of team. So I do think it'll be close. And to your point, the more Washington can stay alive and feel like they can win it, the more dangerous he'll be in the fourth. That's where Jaden Daniels been winning his games.
There's a reason this game's at 6.5. I mean, they think the Commanders are going to somewhat be able to play in this football game. And I like them to cover. I think if I can get that to 7.5, that's probably the best bet on the board for the NFL slate, I would think.
Well, the Eagles are going to have to wake up early. Going to get to the chat, but talking about waking up, look, a lot of y'all out there, whether you're listening, whether you're watching, you drink coffee. I mean, at this point, for me, it's really a placebo effect. I don't know how much it keeps me awake anymore, but I need it with a newborn daughter. But you need to make sure you're drinking the right coffee that's brewed by the right people for a great cause. That's where our friends over at Black Rifle, they've got the market cornered there. Not only do they have an array of light roast, dark roast, everything in between. They got espresso. It's fantastic. They even have a coffee quiz you can take if you're trying to find out exactly what matches you. But the best thing they do is a portion of every purchase you make with Black Rifle Coffee, it goes towards supporting veteran and first responder causes. And boy, do we need it now more than ever with the wildfires that are going on out in California. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with those people. And every purchase you make, again, helps them further their mission to support those causes. Everything from getting funding and equipment to first responders to helping our veterans get medical care. It is a great product that pushes a great cause. Head over to blackriflecoffee.com right now. Use code DailyWire, all one word, and you get 20% off of America's coffee. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Use code DailyWire. Get that 20% and help support the people that support, our people when they're in their biggest time of need. All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, let's go to Jay Smith. What's up, brother? He says, Washington is dangerous, fellas. I'm liking the points, and would I be crazy to take them money line?
Well, what I would do if you decide to take a money line, hell, take a money line. But if you're going to take a side, if it's at 6.5, you buy that puppy up to 7.5. That's what I would do, just to kind of cover your butt there at the end. But no, I'm telling you, I thought Washington was going to be dangerous against Detroit. We said if Washington was going to win, it probably needs to be a high-scoring game. What was it? A high-scoring game. The over of 55.5 that we were like, damn, that's a lot of points. I mean, it hit 66. Hit 76 at 45-31. I'm not a mathematician. But, in this game, I feel like it's going to be lower scoring. But Washington has done nothing but just gain confidence and gain confidence and gain confidence. We talked about the start of the Bills-Chiefs game, how important that is for Buffalo. I think if Washington comes out and throws that punch, because remember, Jahmyr Gibbs scored that first touchdown for the Lions, and people were like, oh, God, here we go. But then all of a sudden, what did Washington do? They punched right back. They need to have that same mentality in this game. But I like Washington to win.
Plus 230, money line, Washington.
I like it. I like it. Sauce it up.
Let's go to Donnie D. What's up, Donnie? He says, what kind of stat line does Josh Allen need to have to beat the Chiefs? I know he played good against the Ravens, but I think he needs to play better to win this game.
Well, can we pull up his numbers? Because I know he didn't have any turnovers. Yeah. It wasn't like he blew the water up from a throwing aspect, but the running element, especially when you get in the red zone. To me, that's when he becomes the most deadly.
He was 16 for 22 with 127 yards through the air, a QBR of 71.1.
No touchdowns, right?
No touchdowns.
But he ran
10 carries for 20 yards.
And 2 touchdowns.
This,
again, we talk about the red zone and the importance of that. I think for the Bills to win, if we look at Josh Allen, if we did a blind test, right, and you didn't show me the score, if Josh Allen doesn't throw an interception and doesn't lose a fumble, he throws for over 150 yards and runs it more than 7 times. I'm going to put a number on the carries. 7 times in the red zone, I think the Bills win the game.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be crazy. 0 in the interception column is most important. And then also sacks. How many times does he get sacked?
Very true.
Ravens only got to him once.
Very true.
Let's go to America First. What's up, man? He says, how do you approach stopping this Redskins offense with Jaden Daniels from a defensive guy, which you are? Jake, how would you stop them?
Well, it starts with stopping the run game. You do have to make Jaden Daniels one-dimensional, even though, if you make him one-dimensional, he can still turn it into interstellar pretty quickly. And you got to make him beat you from the pocket. And again, he can, but if we're trying to find the weakest point, I think where Jaden becomes his best is when the play breaks down, just like Patrick Mahomes, just like kind of Lamar and some of these other guys when they don't turn the ball over. When he gets outside of the pocket, Jaden Daniels can keep his eyes down the field. He makes a blitz or miss, gets out of the pocket. You're in skinny coverage behind, the back turns, it turned into a scramble drill. That's when he finds guys like Ertz and McLaurin. And so, even Zacchaeus and De'Ami Brown and some of these other guys. So keep Jaden Daniels in the pocket, slow down the run. I think you'll make Washington have to methodically take the ball down the field instead of hitting the big play which I think could be the difference in this game against the Eagles. But all right, let's move on. Remember, your donos will get read if they're on topic. If not, they'll get read at the end. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. But Coney, let's get into a little bit of Punt or Go here.
All right, boys, time for Punt or Go. This is our debate segment. Each guy gets 60 seconds uninterrupted to either affirm the statement we make by going for it or reject this statement by punting it. And we're going to start with Ben Johnson, the former Lions offensive coordinator, one of the more sought-after guys for NFL head coaching jobs. Didn't get a job last year, decided to return to the Lions. It was almost inevitable he was going to be an NFL head coach this cycle. We just didn't know where. Now we know it's going to be with the Bears. Sounds like he turned down the Jaguars job. He's going to go and coach Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick from this last year. So my statement for you guys is Ben Johnson will make Caleb Williams a Pro Bowler. Punt or Go?
I'm going to go on this. Look, Caleb Williams is talented. Anybody that says Caleb Williams is a bust out there, he's got a lot to learn. I think you're going to see a similar kind of arc in the first year from Shadur. You got to get rid of the ball at some point. Caleb still holds on to it too long. But Ben Johnson understands that to make my quarterback a Pro Bowler, this is a team sport. I've got to protect him, number one. And that's where the Bears have been lacking on the offensive line, in my opinion. Not that it was the worst offensive line of all time, but you got to go protect Caleb to let him eat because they've got some pieces around him. You look at Moore, you look at Kmet. I think Swift's a good back. But until that offensive line gets fixed overall, not just from a pass pro standpoint, but having a legit running element that can keep some sort of element of surprise around them, Ben Johnson understands it is a full-throated thing. This isn't just go in there and fix Caleb Williams. To fix Caleb Williams, you have to fix what is around Caleb Williams. You've got to structure it and put him in the best place possible to be able to let his talents go and let him create a little bit. He's going to fix the offensive line. The question is, how cute are you going to get early? Because it costs the Lions some. I love this mix. They needed an offensive guy. I think Caleb Williams will be a Pro Bowler under Ben Johnson.
Punt or Go, Blaine?
Punt. One, I do not trust the people who run the Bears. I think Ben Johnson is going to be a great coach and a great fit, but from an organization standpoint, they're below mediocre. And Drake, you brought it up. That offensive line is absolute garbage. It's absolute garbage. And if you think you're going to actually come in and fix that the first year, there's a beachfront property I'd love to sell you in Kansas. Caleb Williams, good piece. I just don't think he's there yet. And I don't know if Ben Johnson can automatically get him there with how bad this organization has been run and how bad this offensive line is. You go to Ben Johnson, look, great play caller. Go look at that offensive line for the Lions. Extremely good. Top 5 offensive line in the NFL. You don't have that at the Bears. You don't have that structure at the Bears. So I think Caleb Williams, good player. Pro Bowler, no.
Here's Caleb Williams' stats from his rookie year. 63% completion percentage, 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. I just think back to some guys in the 90s, like a Troy Aikman, for example.
Yeah.
Troy Aikman would have killed for those stats.
For sure. It's like if you put Dan Marino in one of these offenses this year. He'd kill it. There's no telling the numbers Dan Marino would put up. But, Blaine, to your point, it's not like you've got to sit there and grow a team for 3 years to fix this thing on the offensive line. You bring in the right free agents, and I think good players want to play for Ben Johnson. I think Chicago is actually a place that we know historically what the Bears franchise, is and the success that they've had. So I don't think it would take some amazing turnaround. Now, if you had to fix the offensive line and the skill position and you didn't have a running back and you didn't have a tight end, okay, you're having to build the whole house from scratch instead of just fixing the kitchen. All Ben Johnson needs to do is fix the damn kitchen. Once he does that, I think the Bears are going to start cooking.
So you think it'll be a good hire, even beyond just Caleb Williams making a Pro Bowl?
100%.
Lead the Bears through this very tough gauntlet of a division and have postseason success in Chicago.
I think the Bears will make the playoffs next year. How about that? With Ben Johnson.
Okay.
I think
all right.
Okay, go
and
ahead.
What was the toughest division this year?
Yeah. You think the Bears are going to make the playoffs next year? What magical free agents do you think are just going to pop up and the Bears are going to get them and they're going to run to the playoffs?
Well, it's, again, I'm not going to go into specifics of which player exactly I think they're going to go get, but I think Ben Johnson, again, it's not like the Bears are awful everywhere. It's not like they have nothing, like there's no chance. You make a couple moves and fix a couple. Well, then how is it so asinine that they could possibly make the playoffs?
They're it's 5-12 this year.
Yeah, and again, you are a couple pieces away on that offensive line, and Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson clicking, and DJ Moore and some of these other guys they have from being a pretty good team. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. And again, it's not like he's going to have to just totally come in and overhaul everything. I would not be shocked at all if Chicago makes the playoff next year. And we'll see. We'll see.
You have to find the right pieces for the offense.
That's what I think Ben John's strength is.
Free agents, you have to get extremely lucky because if you're going to draft them, that's going to take a couple years. And your defense right now is the 27th worst team in the NFL.
Well, you say that and you use the Lions as an example. Who did the Lions run behind when they need it the most? I don't know, Penei Sewell. They've been doing that since his ass stepped in the building. So if you go get the right guy at tackle, I think you can help domino effect it down the line, put it with some free agents. You got the pieces around them.
Well, you're not having where Penei Sewell is in this draft.
I think there's a couple guys that can come in and make a difference. This offensive line draft class isn't bad.
You're not going to magically find the guys in the draft picks that the Bears have to come in and fix that offensive line in 1 year. Not only fix the offensive line, but fix the defense as well. Maybe in a couple years, maybe 3 to 4 years, but next year for them to make the playoffs, I am willing to put $1,000 right now that the Bears do not make the playoffs.
Boy, you sound like somebody that really would have doubted the Commanders coming into this year. Well, a lot of people said the same thing about that. You can't magically find this. You can't magically find that. You look up now, Bobby Wagner, bring in a guy that's 100 years old. That's fine as long as he's making tackles.
All right, let's get to this next one, boys.
All right. I want to first, to preface this, to set this up. We've talked about this a little bit. We talked about it on the live stream yesterday. The referee situation with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I want to play the clip of this unnecessary roughness, which if you're going to call it on the Texans, they were unnecessarily roughing each other with Patrick Mahomes. Let's play this clip, and then I'm going to give you the statement. Go ahead and play it. You can see it. The Texans go down. Coney. Come on, dog. We hit each other. No harm, no foul. So my statement to you, and Blaine, I'll start with you. Are the referees biased toward Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? Punter, go.
I'm going on this. And David, I can't wait to hear your answer, but it's not only Patrick Mahomes. It's the superstar treatment. It's not only in the NFL. MJ got these calls. Hell, I've heard people come on here and say LeBron's got these calls too. The highest profile player of each sport is going to get treated differently. That's just the way things are. Am I taking anything away from how good Patrick Mahomes is as a player? No. How good this organization is as an NFL organization? No. But superstar players get treated differently and sometimes get certain calls when it comes to referees. Patrick Mahomes flops. Hell, he flopped in the last game I saw. But do I blame him for that? No. I'm going to find every little avenue I can to win a football game. But I will say this, we've all seen the days where these guys get up there and they get treated a little bit differently on certain calls. Hell, and it doesn't help when the NFL, if you look at a quarterback or touch a quarterback, especially if it's Patrick Mahomes, they're going to get this call. It is called superstar treatment. It's not new. It's been in sports forever. Tom Brady had it. Michael had it. LeBron had it. And the highest profile player in the NFL is who? Patrick Mahomes, so he gets it as well.
David Cohn. The refs are biased toward Patrick Mahomes. Punter, go.
Punt. This is silly. This is a classic overreaction to bad officiating when it just happens to be the face of the NFL, the star player, right? When you look at that video right there, it's a terrible call. What you hate about it is that this is the new NFL. The game of football is changing before our eyes. That's what you should hate about it, not because it just happens to be called against Patrick Mahomes. There was an even worse one that got called in the Philadelphia and LA game that no one's talking about because it didn't happen to Patrick Mahomes. You want to talk about Michael Jordan? How about that guy going down the lane in the 80s against the Detroit Pistons? Let's bring up some of those clips, okay? The bigger issue that I have with Patrick Mahomes is when he tries to toe tap on the sideline so that he can get these late calls, and that's when the flag is thrown, even though he's still in bounds. The direction that the NFL is heading, softening the sport, is egregious to me, and I absolutely hate it. It's happening across the league. It's not just happening with Patrick Mahomes. We just notice it more because he's the face of the franchise.
Blaine, I want to go back to you here, and you bring about the superstar treatment, and I actually agree. I think guys do get treated differently depending on who they are. But what pisses me off the most is where in the rule book does it say, hey, this is not roughing the passer unless it's Patrick Mahomes. It's like the other night I'm watching college basketball, and they were actually complimenting the official when a guy drove to lay the ball in, who didn't call the foul until he realized the guy didn't make the shot on a late whistle. And the announcer was like, you know what, that's really good officiating. He waited to see if the ball went in before he decided to call it a foul. What? It's either a foul or it's not a foul. Where in the rule book does it say, hey, if it goes in, don't call the foul? Or, hey, this is roughing the passer unless it's the Chiefs on defense doing this, that, and the other. And that's a whole different conversation because I think the refs help the Chiefs in other areas than just Patrick Mahomes. But do you think the superstar treatment is right? Do you think it's earned? Do you think that's something that should be, existing?
No, I don't. I think every player should be treated equally, and there's a game of consistent rules, and those rules should be consistent no matter who's dribbling a ball or throwing a pass or running the ball into the end zone. But I do think, and I think if you've watched these games, you know to a certain level, why it just always seems like the Chiefs are getting all the calls.
I know I see one terrible call.
No, not only
game.
this game. If you watch the regular season during the Chiefs got mostly every single call when it comes to Patrick Mahomes.
Congrats.
And I'm not
you took
just
the narrative
that.
bait around the country.
That's not narrative bait. My eyes
You took the narrative bait.
My eyes
Every single game I see a quarterback get hit on time, that they call a late hit, but the narrative doesn't exist, so there's nothing to tweet out about it because it's not Patrick Mahomes.
He's
it's
the
not
golden
back-to-back
goose.
Just the same thing I had to listen to with Tom Brady year after year after year. Why? Because he's the best. Same with Nick Saban, who I know we're about to get to. Why? Because he's the best. You get the focal point of attention, even though it's a problem that's happening everywhere. Not just in the NFL, it's happening in college football. I saw one last night. Was that a late hit last night on Will Howard that they called? No.
Different.
No.
Will Howard's not the highest profile player in the league.
There's not a narrative created around it, so it doesn't get caught up on social media.
Interesting.
All right. Let's get to this third one here. And, fellas, I can't wait to get this one. I'm pretty excited. Jake's favorite guy, Nick Saban. Little punter go action. He says, the people out there need to know this model is unsustainable. One school can't spend $30 million for players while another school is spending $3 million. And this is my punter go question to you. And David, we'll start with you. Nick Saban calls for NIL competitive balance in college football. Are you punting? Or are you going?
What he calls for it. What do you mean? Is it
Nick Saban comments on he wants competitive?
That it's hypocritical?
Yes.
Yes, I'm going for that. It's hypocritical. And look, I have all the respect in the world for the guy. I think he's the greatest college football coach of all time. But that's to the point. I mean, never was the competitive balance more uncompetitive than when he was coaching. 6 national championships in 12 years. And now you want to talk to me about competitive balance? Come on, man. Don't make the rest of us around this country laugh. Now, if Nick Saban were just retired, right? And he just stuck a microphone in front of his face and he's just offering up his thoughts because look, I tried to be the best when I was coaching, but if you want, what's best for the sport moving forward, then this is what should happen. I would say, okay, I can take that into account, but I'm seeing this as he's a mouthpiece for ESPN, his employer now, right? Who has clearly doubled down on the relationship with the SEC. And you have a company like Fox and CBS who doubled down with the Big Ten. And I just see him now that the Big Ten's won back-to-back national championships and guys are transferring out from Alabama and from the SEC. Now he wants to talk about competitive balance. I mean, the underlying sentiment is correct. There's a ton of changes that need to be made. I've been calling for a group of 5 playoff for years now. No one wants to do that. We need more tiers, not fewer tiers where you have $30 million rosters versus $3 million rosters. But to come from him now at this point after his domination, hypocritical.
All right, Nick Saban, is he a hypocrite for these comments, Jake? Punt or go?
No, I'm going to punt. He's in a different job. I mean, if we're going to sit here and say, hey, you got to say exactly what you said when you were a coach at another place, I don't think, and then you go to a new job, I don't think Nick Saban's the poster child for believing what he says in his press conferences. Kind of like when he said, I'm not going to leave the Dolphins to go to Alabama. Then 2 days later, he's down at Chuck's eating sushi in Tuscaloosa. You're in a different job. Now you can tell the truth. It has set you free. I don't care if you're retired or you're working for ESPN or whatever. At the end of the day, this is the truth. And he probably did believe that, but he can't go when he's the head coach at Alabama and sit at a press conference and say, hey, I want competitive balance. I'm sick of winning all these championships. I'm sick of getting all these good players. I'm sick of having a 5-star running back as my third string guy. No, he can just tell the truth now. And it is a totally different job. And I think he is right. And I think it's better for the sport. Jim's Bait Shop can't compete with Walmart when they have different budgets. So it's a Breeze Brothers situation. It's a fresh start for Nick Saban. It's a new job. Now he can finally tell the truth.
If Alabama won back-to-back national championships and that's who we were crowning today rather than the Buckeyes, he wouldn't have made that statement.
I think he'd say it.
He wouldn't have made that statement at all.
What do you think if it was an SEC team in general, he wouldn't have made that statement?
He wouldn't have made that statement.
I don't know. It's just
now become a mouthpiece for ESPN, and I hate it because I really thought this guy could be the commissioner, the czar, whatever you want to call it, of college football. I thought he would be the right choice for that. I don't know if I think that anymore. I think he's too affiliated.
But I mean, Cone, if we're going to argue like who has, about who has the most money or to argue for the little guy, the SEC and the Big Ten, that's not the hill to die on. I mean, if he had coached in the ACC or the Big 12 or something, I would get it. But the SEC and the Big Ten got all the money. Like, what are we arguing the difference of, the Big Ten's got more money than the SEC, that's why they're winning? I don't know if that would be the case. I do think it is interesting, though, the point you bring up. If it was Alabama, not even an SEC team in general, but if it was Alabama who won it, would he do it? Or maybe even LSU. Those would be the two I'd give you.
All right, let's get to this poll. Who won Punt or Go, Blaine, Jake, or David? Any thoughts over here, fellas? What do y'all think?
They're probably going to say 100%. You because you control
David, 100%. Jake, you 100%?
Very confident. David, 99%.
All right, who won a Punt or Go? Blaine, Jake, or David? Jake coming in with 19%. David, 40%. Really close. Blaine coming in at 4. Whoa, we just got to change. Wait, what? It's going to end at me, 41%. David, 40. Wait, back to even. All right, we're even 40-40. That's it. It's a tie, draw.
It's because I said I think the Bears could make the playoffs.
You'd be happy about shaking my hand.
Because I think the Bears could make the playoffs. That's fine. People sat up here and pointed at me when I said Jaden Daniels was the best quarterback. That's fine. Just keep sleeping. All right, let's move on. Coney, the phone lines are open right now.
Phone lines open now. 1-855-236-3228. That's the Hot Take Hotline. Get your calls in. You got 60 seconds to share your hottest take.
Don't blow it.
Please.
All right, speaking about blowing it, we got best and the worst plays of the weekend. That was funny to you?
I don't know. I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that.
No, I wasn't going to go down that rabbit hole. All right, I want to start. We're positive guys here. We thrive on positivity.
We do.
All right, we're glass half full, even when Blaine brings up LeBron. I want to start with top plays.
You saw him on the National Championship game. Yeah, I saw him a couple times.
Poser.
Saw your guy, Dave.
Anyways, my top play, and it goes back to what we were talking about before the postseason. Travis Kelce becomes a different human being during the postseason. This is in a huge moment, 13-12, Chiefs over the Texans. It's a heck of a ball game. The Texans just missed the extra point. There's 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and it's 3rd and goal, fellas. Huge play. You missed this one. Harrison Butker comes out there and makes a field goal to go up 4. But here's where Patrick Mahomes' witchery comes into effect, and Travis Kelce comes through in the clutch again. Let's go ahead and play it. They're in 3-by-1. Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. Literally getting tackled. Insane throw. Just an insane throw. I mean, it's just he does this, it seems like every big game, he finds a way to pull out the wand, Patronus, but it's Travis Kelce on the receiving end of it. You're probably going to see some more of this against the Bills. Travis Kelce, a prime-time playoff player.
I mean, how do you not guard that guy?
The whole game.
The whole game. All right, pretty good top play, but I know one better. Pull mine up. I don't know if y'all saw this, but I saw it the other day. First of all, there's nothing like watching an NFL game in the snow.
For sure.
It just hits different.
It does.
That's why I got my Christmas tree still up, because I knew this. If there's snow on the ground, a Christmas tree's in my house. All right, Saquon Barkley, and I'm going to show you what he did before even this play when he looked at Jalen Hurts. We have 4 minutes and 47 seconds left on the clock. Go ahead and run this. That's fine. We'll run it before. He looked at Jalen Hurts and said, watch this. Woo! You know how much of a dog you have to be to look at this in the snow, and then this play happens.
Then show him what happened.
Run the play. Watch this, Jalen. This is why I'm different. Who cares about a rushing record? Bing, 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 bing. I'm gone. See you later.
Gone.
Alligator cooking. He's running in snow. I don't even know if his feet's hitting at the ground. Do you know how goated? Do you know how much aura you have to look at your quarterback who wanted to audible out of the play and said, no.
I thought he audibled into this.
I'm pretty sure he wanted to audible out of it. And that's why boy looked at him and said, no, watch this. Then take off for 70?
That's why they have a shot. That's why they have a shot.
Look. That's got Larry Bird. I'm going to shoot it from right here as time expired.
In your face.
In a big moment.
I got one that's similar.
Ooh.
I got one that's similar. When things aren't necessarily maybe going right pre-snap and you make an audible. Look at this right here. Carrie Underwood singing God Bless America the Beautiful at the inauguration. Look at it. The music wasn't working. She said, I can just sing it.
You know the words, help me out.
Yeah, and she can.
Oh,
God, Tony Romo is such a gangster.
I mean, we're not going to play the whole thing, but the music wouldn't play.
Yeah.
And she said, I can just sing it. That's Saquon.
built on pressure.
Yeah.
For sure. I just wonder how fast the person got fired.
They already got fired. But
just fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless
his soul.
Yeah, he woke up in Serbia.
I think in a world of Taylor Swift's, be Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. All right, let's get to my worst play, and this is what one of the people in the comments brought up earlier. Notre Dame had some very questionable coaching decisions, but by far the worst to me, including the 3rd and 11 where they brought the house and Jeremiah Smith iced it, was you're down 31-15. You're down 2 scores. That's 16 points. That's 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. It ain't going to be easy either way, but it's 4th and goal from the 10 with 9 minutes and 34 seconds to go, and you decide to kick a field goal to turn a 2-score game into a 2-score game. Not only that, you end up missing the field goal. Go ahead and play this. We were live streaming this last night, absolutely dumbfounded that he did this. This is one of the, and I've got a ton of respect for Marcus Freeman. And Blaine, to your point, he's a guy that takes chances. That's one of the dumbest coaching decisions I've ever seen. And this is what he said. I want to play what he said, and then I want to contextualize what was going on. Because there is a certain context where this would make sense, but not in the realm we were in at that point in time. Go ahead and play when they asked him and what he said.
On 4th and goal, how tough was the decision to maybe go for it there or kick the field goal, and what was the thought process?
Yeah, I think it was 4th and 9 or 10, and I just thought, instead of being down 16, let's try to go down 13. And I know it's still a 2-score game, but you have a better probability of getting 14 points than you do 16 points. And so if it was a shorter fourth and goal situation, I probably would have gone for it, but I just felt 4th and 9 was not a great chance for us to make that. And, I decided to kick it, and we didn't make it.
And look, hindsight's 20/20, but this wasn't a decision that I think there was even another option. You want to talk about probability? What's the probability you're going to stop Ohio State ever again in this game? What's the probability you're going to get inside the 10-yard line again in this game? There's 9.5 minutes to go. I don't care if it's 4th and 9. Now, look, if you were backed up in your own territory, or you were at your own 20, not on the other side of the field, and you decided to punt it, you can explain that one to me with 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout left. Not in this situation. That was an absolute bag fumble by Marcus Freeman. Because, again, all Notre Dame had done, we were singing the Mission Impossible theme song during the live stream because they were making plays left and right. Who's to say Riley Leonard isn't going to scramble and find a way to go score or find somebody, or maybe the tight end or Greathouse who's made some big-time plays in this game? You got to give yourself a chance. I know we're going to bring up Mark Andrews. Y'all didn't even give the man a chance in this game to drop the pass. You didn't give them a chance to make a physical mistake. And if you don't get it, guess what? They get the ball right there at the 10-yard line. There's 9.5 minutes. You have 3 timeouts. You're not out of the game. But that was an absolutely asinine and befuddling decision by Marcus Freeman. I am still shocked to this moment he decided to do.
All right, so even if you make it, right, then you go down 13, you still need 2 touchdowns. It's not like just 2 scores.
Yes.
It's not like you can get away with a field goal and a touchdown or a 2-point conversion. So I was thinking about this from a probability standpoint, too. The odds aren't great that you get a touchdown on 4th and 9, right? And the odds also aren't as good that you would convert both 2-point conversions as much as just needing to convert one of them if you were down 13, or need to convert both of them if you were down 13. But the odds have to be better than you're going to get the football back twice with a chance to score the 2 touchdowns you need to while having stopped the Buckeyes twice from not scoring at all and changing the equation. That, to me, it's not like you're just finding yourselves down in this game, but the other team's offense is really mediocre and not that good, and this is the time to impose your will. You know you'll get the football back twice because your defense is stopping them. I didn't think, the Buckeyes scored 3 drives in the first half over 10 plays. You might not get the ball back again even with 9 minutes left.
100, and the only reason you got the ball back is because they fumbled. Yeah. You forced a fumble. So you want to talk about probability?
Where was the cool little analytics graphic?
They didn't put it up on that one.
Yeah, well, there's only
one.
The
analytics
see, there's only one analytics graphic. It just says go. It never says don't go. It says go.
They don't make a second one.
But you know what? The irony is, you should have gone. The graphic would have been right if it would have said go. I'm still shocked by that to this point.
I wish we had an analytics graphic for mine that just said catch it. Because Mark Andrews should have saw it, and he should have caught this ball. I tell you what. I'm not a big guy on pointing the fingers, but Mark, you're a problem. All right, you're a problem. And great career, but this can't happen. Everything on the line. The world as you know it is on the line, all right? And you have to catch one of probably the easiest balls you've caught in your career, 25-27. The Ravens are down 2, and they're trying to get a 2-point conversion. Go run the play.
It's a great play call.
Great play call. Little sprint out here with Lamar. Mark, you're wide open. Just catch it. Just catch it. Just catch it. I'll never understand. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. How you dropped that ball. What happened? What's going on in your head? You shouldn't have ate that popcorn. What is it? Just what is it? Too good of a player.
Yeah.
Too good of a player, and that's what Mark Andrews is going to be remembered by.
Yeah.
That right.
I don't know. Is his legacy not strong enough to overcome that?
And
he did fumble.
I don't
fumbled
think
in
so.
this game. He
fumbled in this game as well, but I don't think so, David. Maybe for other people outside of the Ravens fans.
If Travis Kelce would have dropped that, but you've won Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying, but they haven't. Like that, and now you have to win it, to me.
Yeah, that's the only, it's an Ohio State Ryan Day situation.
Yeah, now you got to win it.
There's no Michigan in the NFL, buddy. You better win a Super Bowl. You better win a Super Bowl.
All right, bring up my worst play. I saw On3 tweeted this today.
Oh, yeah.
The cart. Just play this quickly, please. Buckeyes on their way to the post-game press conference after winning the championship. And On3 tweeted this and said, the cart crashed on the way to the post-game press conference. No, it didn't. It didn't crash itself. It got crashed. And this sets women's driving back centuries. It really is. It's not a good
And they were so close to be able to drive by themselves.
This is the Austin Powers.
Yeah, the Austin Powers in the cart where you can't get out. Odds. What would you talk about? Oh, here we go. Play the Austin Powers clip. I'm a man. Play the clip. Look at him. You can't.
That's the cart's not crashing itself.
It just makes it so much worse because just the whole women can't.
You talk about probabilities. Did she maybe have a couple of drinks? How do you make that mistake? And the second thing is, what is that cart made of, paper mache? Did you see it barely hit it and it just basically exploded? The whole front just got totaled by barely hitting the thing, but you can't crash the coach.
Can you imagine if something would have happened to Jeremiah Smith?
Play it again.
Wreck.
Did you guys notice
Ryan Day probably would have fought her on the spot.
She left?
She just leaves the scene of the crime.
She had to walk.
Watch the cart. Watch the
hits
cart.
and runs.
Watch the cart just disintegrate.
Good God!
Why are we going that fast right there?
Yeah, what if you just heard in the back seat,
Yeah. No, my neck.
See, now they had to go do the interviews now.
Yeah.
They had to walk to
If I'm Ryan Day, I'm pissed.
Look how pissed Ryan.
She's
now
out of there.
pissed.
She took off.
Yeah,
she just ran.
Wow.
She ran away.
That's
What?
Yeah, let's get her another gin and tonic, guys.
Look how pissed Ryan Day is.
No, Ryan Day's already upset. He's making sure Jeremiah's okay.
Hey, that's a tough cart.
Yeah.
We got a tough cart.
And a
Yeah,
bad
I'm going
driver.
to the Jets.
Yeah. I tell you what, man. All right. Let's get to the chat quickly, then we'll get to the calls.
All right, let's get to this poll. Who had the best top play? Blaine, Jake, or David? Who do y'all think? What's your answers? Give me your best guess.
I'm going to say Blaine 42%.
Wow, really?
97%.
I'm going to give Jake 100% as well. All right, let's get into it. Jake 20%. Just 80% off of that.
Man, screw
Blaine,
y'all. I'm out.
38%. David, 41%. This went down to 40. I'll close it there because I like
Close it.
I like to carry under
Close it.
too. Hashtag America. Let's go to a $5 donation from I Am Purple. What's up, man? He says, Mark Andrews is dead to me. Not only did you drop that pass, but you fumbled it too. I will never like you again.
It's a bad game for Mark Andrews. And they literally tweeted out the Ravens before that game during warm-ups, Mark Andrews can ball in the snow.
He can drop the ball in the snow.
That's a tough look.
Let's go to G Baby. He says, I also hated that decision, but the worst call to me was the fake punt for Notre Dame.
Well, you should have caught it. Talk about dropping the ball. It ended up being we were screaming fake on the live stream. Everybody and their brother knew it was going to be a fake, but you dropped the ball.
Would you rather leave the offense there? If you're going to go for 4th and 2 and you need it in your own territory, would you rather just leave the offense on there, let Riley Leonard get you 2 yards?
Yeah, I would let Riley Leonard because it was working the whole game. It was absolutely working the whole game.
Let's go to Donald D. What's up, Donald? He says, Lamar is a choke artist. I cannot trust him anymore in the playoffs. He's a regular season quarterback.
Just can't turn the ball over, man. It negates everything else. Totally negates everything else. All right, let's stay in the chat till somebody gets on the phone line.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from Michael_37. What's up, Mike? He says, Marcus Freeman with one of the most two dumbest play calls I've seen in a national championship game. A guy who takes risk doesn't take the best risk at the moment.
Look, I understand. Like that, you can call it a risk, I guess, but that wasn't taking a risk. That was like settling for something stupid. There's a big difference. Like if they'd have gone for it in 4th and 9 from midfield early in the game and didn't get it, that's a risk. You didn't take a risk. You try to play it conservative, but the irony in the whole thing is you missed the field goal.
All right, boys, these phone lines are full. Let's start with Devil Doc today. Devil Doc in Indiana, who was at the live stream. Devil Doc, you got 60 seconds, man. What's your hot take?
Hey, guys, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Living the dream. Hey, my hot take is, heard you guys just talking about the Ravens. My hot take is that the only thing that's going to change their playoffs is to get a new coach. I think it's a culture problem, not a Lamar problem.
Wow, you think they need to move on from Harbaugh?
That is a hot take.
That is hot.
Forcing take.
I mean, I've seen Harbaugh win one. That's the only guy I've seen between Lamar and Harbaugh and all. That's the only guy I've seen.
Mike Tomlin win one.
I have seen Mike Tomlin win one, but I mean, again, we're not having the discussion at quarterback that we are. But I think the Ravens eventually are going to do it. It's just at some point, man, like your stars can't make mistakes. Hey, not only that, but if you're going to make mistakes, and turn the ball over and fumble the ball, you better make the plays that you're supposed to make. And Mark didn't do that. At least Lamar made some big plays. Mark just struggled, man. I mean, we talked about it. The drop ball earlier, the fumble, all that stuff. It's just tough, man.
There's no way you can let him. Who you going to go get?
Yeah.
Who you going to go? I
just don't think it's worth it.
Do you go get the guy who just won the national championship at Ohio State?
Go get his brother.
Be your head coach at the Ravens?
Head coach.
Stop it.
Head coach.
Please.
God, can you imagine the first Ravens-Chargers game if that happened? Ryan Davis, Jim Harbaugh in the league.
It's already brother on brother.
I don't know. The only thing that can make it weirder is that.
Yeah, because they love each other, but it's brother. But Ryan, I would love to see Ryan Day versus Harbaugh.
I'm telling you, Ryan Day, get out now. Get out now while it's hot.
Devil Doc, thanks for calling in, man. That was a lot of fun last night. All right, that line's open. Let's get a caller on it, and we're going to go to Tennyson in Texas. Tennyson, 60 seconds, man. What's your hot take?
I think my hot take is that Texas A&M baseball might be, I'm not trying to jinx us, the second team in history to go wire to wire. And it actually leads me to my next question. Do you guys anticipate doing any preseason predictions?
Oh, for college baseball?
Yeah, for sure. You guys
have
you done that before ever?
I don't think we've done preseason predictions for college baseball. I mean, outside
Supers.
For the Supers, we did. Yeah. That's exactly right. Man, what I'm interested to see is A&M and LSU this year. Obviously, Tennessee with Tony V up there. I mean, what the SEC did last year from a teams in the tournament standpoint. But I'm going to be honest with you, Tennyson. My focus, it never leaves on football, but I'm looking at college basketball. And y'all at A&M, Lenardi has y'all projected as a 5 seed, dude. And Wade Taylor didn't come back until last game. I mean, it ain't. I know baseball's huge there, but at the end of the day, y'all's basketball team ain't bad.
I wasn't going to mention it. I'm just going to let that one ride. I have no idea what's going on.
Smart man.
Mr. Morrow, I was just going to let that. I wasn't even going to talk about it.
You're a smart man.
Tony, I'd never talk about it.
Yeah, you're a smart man.
We'll see. No expectations.
Appreciate it, man. All right, let's go to Jimbo in New York. Jimbo, what's your hot take?
What is up, fellas? I have a nuclear take for you.
Oh, God.
So I want to get right into it. I want to give a special shout-out to Jerry Jones, by far the most overrated owner in the history of professional sports. With Washington's win last weekend, the Dallas Cowboys are now the only team this century to never make the NFC title game. How's it feel, Jerry? Y'all boast and brag about being America's team like you're Captain America year after year when y'all aren't even scrappy-do. If there was a time to ever hire Dion, now is the time to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jimbo, to that point, it's not like the Cowboys are some lowly franchise that has no money and no cachet. You have all the advantages. You're the mayor's son. You'll never get in trouble. You'll never get detention.
Can you be America's team if you lose?
No, they're not. They can't be.
There's a certain thresh point.
I'm with you.
You can't lose this much and have America on.
No, you can't. We back-to-back World War champs, man. You can't. You're literally hurting our name by saying that. They're not America's team.
Are the Chiefs America's team?
The Chiefs are America's team.
Are they? Everybody hates them. Everybody just
That's exactly right.
Everybody hates us.
Huh?
Everybody hates us.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Except Mexico because they're scared to say something.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs. You're over here talking about Patrick. The refs are biased towards Patrick Mahomes and they're cheating, and Taylor Swift's in the Illuminati, and now they're America's team.
Yeah, what's wrong in that statement?
Can you figure it out?
You don't think Taylor Swift's in the Illuminati?
I think you're bipolar.
Yeah, NATO would give us the
best possible "I still love you" way.
Yeah.
That line's open. Let's get someone on it. In the meantime, we're going to go to Thad in Kansas. Thad, our boy right here made good on the spitz boobin. It's at home waiting for me. What's your hot take, man?
Well, boys, it's more of a question for you. First, Blaine, I need the link to that oceanfront property in Kansas. I'd really like
it's beautiful.
To see it.
It's crazy. You got to go through a wardrobe.
Well,
that's
my next question. Y'all gave Jake so much hell last night for being the gatekeeper. So I want to know who's the best gatekeeper: the Flaming Dragon, the Billy Badass defensive coach, or the Wolverine that trapped a humping badger.
Well, we got our spitz boobin, so he did his job.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, you're getting that spitz boobin.
Honestly, if you had mailed that to Blaine, I wouldn't be eating
I think Dave is probably the best gatekeeper because we'll never know.
I would have eaten all those.
Well, hold on. Actually, this is a great segue. You want me to tell you who's the best gatekeeper? It's Justine's boyfriend with the Meat Lovers Pizza that he absolutely robbed us.
Worst gays.
And guess what? Look at the picture of him.
We found him.
Thief. If you don't know, in our live stream last night, we had a fan of the show send us eats an individual pizza. Now, David did say he ate a slice of my stuffed crust, which slice to David means 3/4 of the pizza. But David got a Meat Lovers. David got a Meat Lovers one, and Justine's boyfriend absolutely swiped it at Mission
We
Scar
did
Social.
give it to you first.
Oh,
you didn't.
You had a piece, David.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't get any of it.
You had a piece.
I handed it to you, and you handed it
I
back.
didn't. I didn't.
You didn't even get a piece?
Yeah, no. What happened was you handed the pizzas around, and I didn't know it was stuffed crust at the time when I started eating. I just thought, here's a box of pizza, right? It's going around, so I took a slice. Oh, then it's stuffed crust. That's awesome. Then Serb said, yeah, I got one for each of y'all, and David's was Meat Lovers. I look over, and Justine was like, yeah, we didn't want to crowd you guys too much with too many boxes.
That's actually exactly what
I looked at. I didn't eat one of them though.
And the worst part,
but I'm not even that. But
I'm
at the end of the stream, I look down. Someone got me a pizza and little cookies for dessert. All right, I look down and there's my pizza, and my box of cookies is gone. And then I look over to the corner and it's Justine. Sorry, I had one. Stop taking people's things.
Sharing is caring, Blaine.
Well, the worst part is he even has a sandwich on top of the pizza. What are you opening up a restaurant, dog?
But Justine, I'm not complaining about it because after I had a slice or two of what I didn't know at the time was Jake's pizza, I wasn't going to eat any more of that, so I'm glad it didn't go to waste, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, there's the gatekeeper, Thad, right there.
My apologies, though, guys.
Oh, it's all good. We like it.
Let's get a caller on that line. In the meantime, we're going to go to Tim in California. Tim, what's your hot take today?
Drive on down the field, man, of the scarlet and gray. Hey, what a great day yesterday, guys. Our Ohio State Buckeyes win the national championship, back-to-back Big Ten champions.
It's beautiful.
We get a vice president sworn in as an Ohio State alumni. I mean, what a great day.
Yeah, they put me in scarlet today.
You look great, Dave. You look great.
Absolutely. Now, to be fair, I have a cousin that is on the board of directors at Ohio State, and I was texting him after the Michigan game that Ryan Day better not be able to get to the bus. That he just get rid of him, slingshot his ass out of state, and get rid of him. And last night I had to text him, like, give him a 12-year contract.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I open. If I'm Ryan Day, thanks for the memories. It's a fallout, boys. I'm out of here. No, I'm going anywhere else. Y'all don't really love him.
So what if it's not the NFL? Okay, if he goes and takes an NFL job, that's one thing. That's understandable. He wouldn't leave for a different college.
No.
Are you saying that?
If Lincoln Riley goes to the NFL, I'm Ryan Day.
No.
Look, I know, again, it's a tough situation there right now. You can catch me outside. How about that? I'm going to USC. I'm going to USC. Steve Sarkisian goes somewhere. I'm going to Texas. But in the back of my mind, I know you don't love me. I don't care that you brought me flowers after you punched me in the face because I didn't put the napkins away right. If I'm Ryan Day, they really don't love you. They don't love you, dog. They don't. And if you lose to Michigan again next year, which you might, You got to go there. Or even, I'll do you one better. If y'all lose to Texas week 1 next year, you're going to be right back in this situation.
That's college football.
There's levels to it. But now that you won the Natty, I'm out of town. You guys are the worst.
So what now for Chip Kelly then, offensive coordinator?
What do you think he wants? Like, he could have gotten a head job.
I'm probably just going to coach here until Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, I'm here until Jeremiah.
I'm probably just going to be here until he leaves.
Then take an analyst job with the pro team he goes to.
Yeah, then I'll just go to whatever team he goes to then.
You think Jeremiah Smith will pull a Maurice Clarett and be like, look what I did as a freshman. I'm out of here. Let me go to the league.
That rule needs to go.
In today's age,
that rule needs to go.
How can you keep him from going pro?
If you're ready to go, you need to just go to the NFL. That's why baseball does it better.
Remember Maurice Clarett tried to do that?
Yeah, like if you're good enough to get drafted after your freshman year, especially this high, like you ought to be able to go.
Yeah.
Right? In what other profession are they like, no, you're good enough to do it, but we're not going to let you do it?
There's some back channel with the NFL and college football that we've always kind of just turned a blind eye to because we want the best talent. And it happened with college basketball even worse. Remember, Kobe Bryant goes right to the league. LeBron James goes right to the league.
And then they complain.
There's some sort of backdoor deal where it's like, hey, send these guys to college for at least 1 year. How great would it be to see Zion play for Duke? Okay, so then you get those situations, one and done, they go. With football, though, Maurice Clarett tried this after their national championship. Didn't work out.
Well, if there's never been a better time to try it. Because if you're the athlete, the
circuit courts will favor it.
They'll favor you're getting all the positivity right now.
That's a wild thought right there. All right, let's keep it moving here. Let's go to Christopher in Oklahoma. What's your hot take, man?
Hey, guys. My hot take is, number one, do you guys think the Texas Longhorns can win all next year? And it was good talking to you guys this year, and I will be watching you guys next year. And keep up the good work, guys. I love you so.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Look, I'm so interested because with the Texas situation, either way, it's going to be cinema. Either Arch Manning is going to be the guy that all these people think he's going to be in this stud, and it's going to be just nuts, or it's going to go down in flames. Because here's the thing, even if Arch Manning is just a good player, that ain't good enough. If he doesn't do what Quinn Ewers did, at least get him to the semifinals and do all this, it is going to be looked at as a failure. And that's not fair to him, right? But that's part of the deal when you enter this arena. So can Texas do it? I think they can. What Sark has done in the line of scrimmage for Texas is the reason I think that they're at this spot. I know they've lost some wide receivers to the draft, but they just reload and replace. But this Arch Manning saga, that's what it's going to come down to. That, and can this defense keep up at this rate? When you see the way that Texas' defense and in that front seven has really started to kind of have an about face and become that physical team. If they can do that, then yes. And again, like I said earlier, and I retweeted something that Josh Pate tweeted about the early lines for next year. Guys, some of these early games next year are fantastic. Now, we'll see what Florida State, you got Alabama first. LSU plays Clemson, Texas, Ohio State, even Syracuse and Tennessee, I think is going to be an interesting match.
Well, the odds are out for next season, and the Buckeyes are at plus 450. They're the favorite right now.
It's going to be Julian Sayin versus Arch Manning.
Texas number 2 right now at plus 650 odds to win the national championship.
It's going to be cinema.
God, I've never seen a quarterback I know your last name's Manning, but the amount of glazing that's gone on for this kid who's never thrown a pass is insane.
Hey, he's got some 4th and 1s, though.
Is insane.
Yeah, it's the most pressure I've seen on a high school player or a young player having to come through since LeBron James. I really believe that.
Wow.
All right, let's go to Tyler in Knoxville. Tyler, what's your hot take today?
What's up, guys? Hey, long-time listener, second-time caller. You guys doing okay?
Appreciate it, buddy. Doing great, man.
Good. Hey, listen, as I was calling, somebody was asking a question about UT, so I'm going to pull an audible at the line of scrimmage. So here it is. This national championship hot take was one of the worst advertised and worst hyped up events in my memory in national championships. I think the national championship should be on January 1st or the following Saturday following January 1st. It be on a Monday. I know it's election year, but it just seemed like it was a really weird timing the way it was scheduled this year.
Look, I don't think that's crazy at all. I mean, we've talked about even with Tim Brando on here, the capability to move the season up, right? We talked about week 0, whatever the hell you want to call it. There's ways to be able to move it up where we can make that happen, even with the 12-team extended playoff. But I actually agree with you. With the presidential inauguration and everything going on, I need to look at the ratings numbers. I haven't looked at it yet. But at the end of the day, this didn't feel like the entree, This felt like the mashed potatoes, and there was other things were the steak. And it shouldn't be that way with college football. Even if there's not a team from the Southeast represented, I'm with you 100% of the way. They need to make changes. I think they will. The calendar's something most of the coaches complain about anyway, but Tyler, I agree with you 100%, dude.
Appreciate it, man. All right, let's go to Andrew in Kansas. Andrew, what's your hot take?
Hey, guys. Love the new format here, the 1 minute. That seems to be working real well.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, okay, so hot take, full disclosure, I'm a big Chiefs fan, been a Chiefs fan since before the Jamal Charles days.
Wow.
Great player, wish he got one, but whatever. Hot take is if Patrick Mahomes didn't exist and Josh Allen played for Andy Reid on the Chiefs, Josh Allen would have 2, maybe 3 Super Bowl wins.
He'd have a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So
he'd have a Super Bowl.
At least one.
Yeah, for sure.
I do think, though, that Patrick Mahomes is a better player than Josh Allen. I believe that. Now, by leaps and bounds, no. Do they go about it a little bit differently? Maybe a little, but I think there's some similarities. I just think Patrick is such a next-level thrower that, and he's a good enough runner. Josh Allen's a better runner than Patrick is, but Patrick is one of the best throwers, or passers, that I've ever seen in my life because of his ability. He's like that shortstop. He's like Jeter at short. He can do the jump throw. He can throw across his body. He can flip it backwards, whatever. From an improvisational standpoint, I think Josh Allen would have a Super Bowl. I agree with David, but I don't think he would have the amount of Super Bowls that Patrick Mahomes would have. But Andy Reid and Josh Allen would be a pretty damn good combination.
Yeah, they'd win a lot of football.
Yeah, they'd win a lot.
It just feels like Patrick's a better quarterback and Josh is a better athlete.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Well,
yeah. I think Patrick's
you can frame it that way.
Thinker,
you can frame it that way.
From anticipating throws or anticipating movements, Patrick Mahomes is best in the league.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's go to Evan in Dallas. Evan, what's your hot take?
Hey, how's it going, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
All right, cool. First time caller.
Appreciate it.
So I had a hot take, and this is a Cowboys fan, so this pains me. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders beat the Eagles and then saved the world and beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Look, Evan, let's run that ground ball out for a second. You want to talk about hype and glazing? If Jaden Daniels, there's never been a rookie win the Super Bowl, right? Rookie quarterback win the Super Bowl. If that happens, how quickly does the Patrick Mahomes hype fall off and get replaced with Jaden Daniels? Which I think would be crazy because it's only 1 year and the book's not totally out on Jaden yet. There's a lot of film that's going to keep coming out. But you would see people in mainstream sports media instantly say the Patrick Mahomes era is over and Jaden Daniels is the new Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was the new Tom Brady. You would see that instantly, but I would love to see it. I would actually, if that's the way it went down, that's the only way I would like to be wrong about my Chiefs pick, is if Jaden Daniels win it. I just don't see it, though.
Who's it going to be to save the world?
It's got to be Josh. It's got to be Josh. I agree with what you said.
The world. Is it Jaden Daniels or is it Josh Allen?
Man, the closest was Joe Namath when they won Super Bowl III in 1969, but he was in his second year, even though he missed his rookie year due to injury, so it was his first year playing.
I'm just trying in my mind to envision the media reaction to Jaden Daniels doing that. That would be incredible. It'd be insane. It'd be the craziest thing we've ever seen.
Thank y'all for calling in today. Anyone still on the line, call in tomorrow, please.
Yes, great calls. I do like the new format, too. Good idea, D. Anyways, all right. Well, Justine first. And I want to preface this. I've tabulated all the votes from last week. Now, since last night on the live stream, we didn't have the same amount of our bets, and I can't really remember half of mine because we did so many. I just tabulated last week plus the locks, leans, and dogs. But before I get to that, Cone, you went 4-2 last night in the live stream, correct?
1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, yes.
Okay, that's not going to be reflected here. Cone had a good night. Blaine, you won $4,000 last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so here's the graphic. Okay, I can't see it on mine. Anyways, here's what we did overall. This order is not correct, but anyways, I was 9-6-1. Blaine and Cone were both 6-10. Ace didn't do a locks, leans, and dogs, so he was 4-6, and I have the units next. So I won the first week. There's a lot of weeks to go, and again, we did not put in the bets from the live stream last night because there wasn't an even amount, and I can't even remember half of them.
Does that mean I have to wear a hat now?
So here's what I was thinking.
That counts for this one.
Here's what. Okay, can I get to the part of what I was about to say?
For sure.
Because one of two things. Ace didn't do a locks, leans, and dogs, so we have an uneven amount of bets between the four of us. And also with the live stream last night, we didn't take those bets into account because we didn't format it the same. I think we just show this. Nobody's the loser technically this week. I'll give a participation trophy to everybody. This will be the only time. But this coming weekend, when we do the live stream, we will have our locks, leans, and dogs that are those bets that are in there. So we won't even have to separate it outside of the live stream, if that makes sense.
You sure you just want to do anything to David? Should we beat him up or?
Well, I mean, I think we should.
What did Liam Neeson say to that dude on the phone?
Yeah, got a special set of skills.
We should just send you house to house.
You see that bat behind you?
Send him house to house with Girl Scout cookies. He'd be like,
send me house to house with Girl Scout.
He'd be like Corky Romano.
I'll eat them all.
That'd be that'd be done. It's like that one slice of pizza.
All right, yeah.
You have 2 slices of pizza.
Two? Dave, there were 4.
David, they would have jailed you.
I had 2 slices. It's on video.
It's not even your fault. It's not even your fault.
It's not your fault, though. I'm not mad. David, I'm not mad.
Now I'm gonna go screen record.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's better. All right, but let's go to the bets for tonight. It's college hoops, guys. I'm so just enamored. I love college basketball so much. The SEC looked like they could get 13 teams in. That'd be crazy. Alabama lost last game at home to Ole Miss. They're 13 flavors of piss. They were so mad they went up and beat Kentucky up in Rupp Arena. They've got Vanderbilt tonight, coming off a huge win against Tennessee. The vibes are so high, they're going to get clocked tonight. Give me Bama minus 11.5. That's going off at minus 130. Then Texas money line. Right now on Joe Lunardi's bracketology, Texas, one of the first 2 teams out, but they get a shot to play a ranked Missouri team. Dennis Gates is doing a hell of a job. That is a projected 7 seed as we stand today. So if Texas wins tonight, they will be in the tournament. For now, give me Texas at home on the money line at minus 135, even though Missouri, Caleb Grills, hot right now. So hot, Hansel.
I'm going the other way. Give me Vanderbilt plus 11.5. They're going to lose by 9, minus 110 on the odds there. Even though it should be a little bit better odds if that was minus 130.
I bought it down. I bought it was Bama 12. I bought it down to 11. Or it was Bama 12.5. I bought it down on DraftKings.
Either way, Tennessee, Mississippi State under 142.5. Those odds also minus 110.
All right, I love it, fellas. Big day yesterday. Clap it ups in the chat for money won yesterday. We're all excited about it. Give me Mississippi State plus 8.5, going off at minus 115, playing Tennessee on the road. Look, Tennessee, I don't think they're as good as a lot of people think they are with the loss against Vanderbilt. And team coming off a big win, which is Vandy, is going to go play Alabama at minus 11.5. The thing about playing Alabama is this. You can play really good and still lose by 15. With the amount of threes they throw up a game, this game is at Alabama. I like Alabama to cover.
All right, let's go to Ace. He's going Bama Vandy over 168.5. Would not be shocked at all if Bama put a 100-piece up, which means that Vandy just needs to score 69, Blaine's second favorite number. And then Missouri, plus 2.5 on the road at minus 110, going to play Texas. We could both hit. I took Texas money line. They win by 1 or 2. We both walk away happy and smiling. Speaking about happy and smiling, let's actually, you know what? No. I want to go to what's slowly becoming one of my favorite news segments with David Cohn here. We call it Fit It in a Minute, where David has to read the news headlines, the main sports headlines, within a minute. We ought to do world headlines one time just to see how it goes. All right, Coney, you got 1 minute on the clock to give the...
That's the official clock.
That's the official clock, not what Oh Boy does over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's already started it.
Oh Boy.
He's already started it.
Blaine, your brother.
That's what... Oh, yeah. Good. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, hey.
Anyways. All right, David. 1 minute. Sports news headlines. Fit it in a minute.
Novak Djokovic topped Carlos Alcaraz in the quarterfinals of the Australian Open. Joker lost the opening set, but won 3 in a row to close the young Spaniard out in 4 sets. He will now face Alexander Zverev in the semifinals. Former Buckeyes backup quarterback Devin Brown signs with Cal. Brown has 2 more seasons of eligibility. Edmonton Oilers star Connor McDavid was handed down a 3-game suspension by the NHL for a cross-check to the head on Canucks Connor Garland. There was talk of appealing the suspension, but McDavid has decided against that. The college presidents and chancellors who control the 12-team college football playoff met Sunday for their annual meeting. No major decisions were handed down regarding the format, but the CFP director, Rich Clark, said tweaks haven't been ruled out.
Wow. What am I more shocked at? That Boy didn't appeal the decision, or that the guy who's heading the committee's first name is Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I heard
what a job today.
Yeah, Coney got through that one. It even went back. And replaced some stuff. Buckeyes quarterback. That was a pretty good job. All right, let's get these donos.
All right, if you donated today, guys, thank you so much. Let's go to a $5 donation from Jay Wood. What's up? He says, guys, Ryan Day to Alabama? Question mark?
Don't look. I'm telling you, get out, Ryan,
run.
Where
the pressure is so much lighter. Where the pressure's so much lighter down there.
Yeah.
Let's go to a $5 donation from Ty. Appreciate it, Ty. If Ryan Day was a real man, he would have thrown up the double birds last night on the stage and said, y'all wanted me out, I'm out. Peace.
He should have He should have painted his face like Braveheart after the game and went on the stage.
All right, let's go to the W. What's up, man? $2 donation. Please tell me you are live streaming the NFL games.
Yes.
As a Cowboys fan, last weekend couldn't have gone worse.
Oh, we're going to live stream both the games on Sunday. So get ready for it. Buckle in. That's 8 straight hours of live streaming?
Yeah.
We're going to see it.
$5 donation from the Flockin' Bird. What's up? EAGLES, boys. The only word that matters now. Jalen Hurts, take us to the promised land.
Who'd have thought Jalen Hurts would have turned into this? It's amazing.
It's incredible.
It is incredible.
$3 donation from Jam. I hate Ryan Sirianni with my entire being. I can't stand this guy. Redskins on top. Hashtag F the Eagles.
Nick Sirianni?
I think he may have been making a pun on Ryan Day with Sirianni, but Ryan just won the whole thing.
Let's get a $5 donation from the boy. Appreciate it. It says, every time I see Saquon run, it just hurts me a little bit more. A little life from a Giants fan.
Look, it's a tough situation for you guys right now. I do not envy you. I mean, that's the only thing that kind of makes me feel bad for producer Justine every now and then is that the Giants are so bad.
Let's get a $5 donation. Last donation of the day from Peter. Appreciate it, Peter. Will Jaden Daniels be in the NFL Hall of Fame by the end of his career?
By the end of this week, probably.
Well, if he goes on this rate, if he keeps this rate up, yeah. I mean, that means, he's doing really good, like the best ever for a rookie. So I think it'd be crazy to say no at this point. But look, it's really hard. And again, the book's going to keep going out on you. What?
Well, I just put a poll up for fun at the end of it. Who should get punished for the worst bets? And I put vote Jake at the bottom of it. But it was Blaine, Jake, or David, and I definitely cleared everybody by 48%.
By 48%?
Chat, grow up.
No, I like it.
Grow
up. I like the way y'all do y'all's work. All right, yeah. Hey, don't forget, too, go buy one of our new hats. They're right there. We got the link. You can find it at the merch store, the Daily Wire. It's probably the coolest merch thing we've sold. I actually wear mine all the time. It's pretty neat. So go check it out. We're going to live stream the games this Sunday, the NFL games. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Check us out tomorrow. Same time, same you, same us, same excellent content. And like the chances of me not being sad that college football season is now over, but also kind of jacked it's college basketball season. We're going. Caught it. You saw it. Gone.
The whole
caught it. That's the first one.
Now?
The first one I hit the light and caught.
The entire card. I mean.
Right there. You missed the whole thing. It's not that easy.